that all day long. I mean, so it's no big deal. But I like it. Yeah, yeah. And that's the banner. That's it. But so this is downstream. So further on down the line, these will provide the this one. Yeah. That'll be on. So this is downstream. So that it's on follow whatever. You have it. And then the output of this goes to, this is not only monitor, but also hard drive. So we can record, to the cloud, it's recorded. So well, and then it's sent it out to this box here. So the easiest thing is we can both pick up the right. Yeah. So this is the same thing as OBS on the out of the box. So instead of using a computer, it's just plug it in a computer. So we can press a button. I like to check. So all the same channel that on YouTube. So this, we have to tell this to go to our YouTube channel. But yeah, you kind of uploaded, I think, 6 inputs. One of that definition program had 6 different sources. So switch all, I have 2 different computers, 3 cams, broadcast on iPhone computer. So this can make your life a lot easier. I don't know this one, but everything that's done without so basically, you go to here, it's the exact same thing.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura Houston, and I'd like to welcome you to our 4th day of ScholarTalks. We are here at Sunkist Elementary School in the amazing Anaheim Elementary School District. And, am I coming through on the microphone, Brian? Okay, good. I'll keep going. Thank you. And if you're wondering, what is a Scholar Talk? It's exactly what it sounds like. It is a talk given by someone who is a scholar. And a scholar is someone who works very hard, is curious, who studies and researches. The topics that you're going to hear today were chosen by the students. Their assignment was, share something important to you. That's it. Any subject, any topic. Share something important to you. Now, as you're listening today, I invite you to ponder these questions. What is important to me? What would I give a scholar talk about? Because it might be you up here on this stage next year. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first scholar. Her name is Emily, and she is a 6th grader at Roosevelt Elementary School, and she is going to talk to you about a speech entitled, Be You and Only You. Doesn't it bother you when people act like others? Not imitating, but trying to be like them because they consider them cool. If that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But it does bother me. Hello, my name is Emily, and I'm going to talk about the importance of being yourself. Some people think of themselves as inferior, worthless, or unimportant. So, when thoughts like that cross someone's mind, they may try to act or look a different way. People do these things because they aren't satisfied with themselves and they want more. But you know what? I think people don't need to act like others to be considered cool or popular. Just be you. Someone that I admire is Luna Lovegood. If you do not know who she is a character from the Harry Potter series. Luna Lovegood is one of my absolute favorite characters in the series. The reason I like her so much is because she isn't afraid of expressing who she truly is. She also doesn't let the bullies get to her. Luna Lovegood may be considered strange and oddball or weird, but to me, she's just another person who's actually brave enough to be herself. A famous quote of hers is, being different isn't a bad thing. It means you're brave enough to be yourself. And I couldn't agree more. Another thing that I don't like is when people choose the wrong person as their one role model. This is because I honestly think that your role model should be yourself. People don't have to always look up to someone because the only person they need is themselves. Most of the time, people choose their role model as someone better than them. At least that's how they see it. Some people say that be yourself is bad advice. They say that because expressing one's true self is always hard when you've been hiding it for so long. Some may think that expressing their true self is easy, but once they actually get there, they might hesitate. I believe that people have a hard time being themselves because negative thoughts fill their head. Some negative thoughts that might bring a person down would be, what if they don't like me, or what if I'm not good enough? But really, those thoughts are very, very unnecessary because it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you think. I'm still young, but I have dealt with times where I was unsure about the way I was. I would try to change the way I acted completely, and now that I look back at it, it wasn't even worth my time. I would even try to change the way I dressed to match what was popular at the time. The reason I said that it's not worth my time is because I was perfectly happy with myself until that time. I don't remember what made me want to change. I just remember I wanted to, and quickly. Social media is a big thing right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing. Young people like teenagers are influenced easily by social media. If a teenager posts a picture, then some comments can be pretty hurtful. Those comments can influence the person who posted the picture, and that can cause them to go into an emotional state. And like I said, they will be influenced and forced to change themselves and be someone they're not. Sometimes they get so influenced it's to the point where they end up hurting themselves. Because when someone doesn't like something about someone else, they want to change it. That sometimes causes insecurities. Insecurities don't help at all when it comes to confidence in being yourself. Insecurities are mainly about a person's body. When a person who's insecure about their body or how they look stands in front of a mirror, they won't like what they see. Something very serious that I'd like to mention is body dysmorphic disorder, otherwise known as BDD. Cleveland Clinic states that body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health condition. A person with body dysmorphic disorder becomes very anxious about a physical defect. Often they're imagining the defect or it's so minor that others can't see it. These feelings consume the person's thoughts, affecting their social activities and jobs. This isn't just an insecurity, it's a mental health illness. That is very serious. Cleveland Clinic also states that people with this condition may see themselves as ugly, think about their perceived flaws for hours each day, miss work or school because they don't want others to see them, avoid spending time with family and friends, have plastic surgery, possibly multiple surgeries, to try to improve their appearance, experience severe emotional distress and harmful behaviors. Anyone can get BDD. It mainly affects people in their teenage years and early adulthood because that's the time when people start comparing themselves to others. I don't like it when people try to be someone they're not. I don't think there's even a reason to because it doesn't matter what they think. It only matters what you think. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, I'm just going to wait a moment because we are going to swap out a microphone. And I'll just talk a little bit about Emily's speech. And I may repeat myself in case the microphone isn't working. But Emily, I liked what you said about don't compare yourself to others. That is such a great message. You know, just be you, and because we're all so different. Sure. This is what happens when you live stream. Sometimes you have unexpected things with technology. So we're just going to test this microphone and make sure that Mr. Brooks can hear my voice loudly and clearly, and he's going to let me know. Does it sound pretty good? Better. Okay, that's good news. All right, so we are moving on. Thank you, Emily, for that very important message that I hope all students get to hear that speech. Okay, so next I'm very happy to introduce Andre. And Andre is a 6th grader at Ross Elementary School, and he is going to speak to us about technology. So welcome, Andre.
Hi, my name is Andre, and I'm in the 6th grade. I am writing about technology. I chose to write about this because I'm amazed how much has changed over the years. When I talk to older people, they always talk about how things were different in the past. So, I decided to do research on just how much has changed when it comes to technology. My first topic I chose to talk about is telephones. Telephones are the most common ways people use to communicate with each other. In 1830, the telegraph was invented. A person cannot speak to another person, they can only send messages. In 1876, the landline telephone was invented. With the landline telephone, it cannot be hacked, you will never lose service, it is not to be charged, you can only use it in the house or a place of business, and it has superior sound quality and clarity. In 1973, the cellular phone was invented. This is the only phone I am familiar with. There are lots of things you could do on a cellular phone, like carry it anywhere you go. It's cordless. You don't have to memorize phone numbers or write them down. You can just store them. You can FaceTime, listen to music, stream movies and videos, talk to more than one person at a time, know the location of family and friends, play games, take pictures, place orders such as food and clothes, and search things up. The second topic I chose to talk about is computers. A lot of people may not be aware of this, but computers were invented in 1822, but was not built until 1991. So what were people using before computers? they were using typewriters, which was invented in 1868. A typewriter is a machine that has raised letters that are molded in reverse to print correctly on the page, whereas a computer has so many more features and capabilities. Here are a few. With computers, you can attend online classes, work, entertainment, pay bills, send emails, social media, help hospitals by holding all the patient's personal information, and last but not least, because of our current situation with the global pandemic, we are able to attend school virtually. The third topic I chose to talk about is televisions. TVs were invented in 1927. They were shaped like a box and had buttons. It had no remote, there were only 7 TV channels, and had no color. In 1950, TV remotes were invented. They only had 4 buttons and they were called clickers. Before clickers, you have to go to your TV and change the channel. In 1970, TV remotes had a button to turn the volume up and down, to change the channel, and to turn the TV on and off. Also in 1970, TVs were made in color. Today, we have smart TVs, which was invented in 2007. With the smart TV, you can stream record movies to watch later, search the internet, download apps, connect game consoles, social media, watch YouTube, and connect devices. The best part of having a smart TV is that you have more than 7 channels, and the remote also has a lot more features. TVs also come in different sizes. My fourth topic I chose to talk about is cars. Cars were invented in 1886. The first car was a Benz. When cars were invented, not all cars had seatbelts. Although seatbelts were invented in 1885, they were not standard until 1967. Also, when cars were invented, they can only go up to 14 miles per hour. As of 2019, the fastest car can go up to 300 miles per hour. To roll the window up and down, you'd have to manually do it yourself. But with cars today, you can just push a button. One of my favorite features is the GPS. With the GPS, you can search a location to get from one place to another, tracking to monitor objects and personal movement, mapping, timing, and so much more. Cars have really come a long way. Wow, look how much has changed over the years, with phones, computers, TVs, and cars. Technology can help a lot of people nowadays with entertainment, school, work, and transportation. I am so glad I was born at a time where technology was at its best. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. You took me down memory lane there, and it's hard to believe that I went through university with no internet, so it was all before the time of the internet. So yes, things are much easier nowadays. Great speech. That was a lot to memorize. So next, I am excited to introduce Sophia. And Sophia is a 6th grader at Stoddard Elementary School, and she is going to talk to us about branches of astronomy. So welcome, Sophia.
Hello, my name is Sophia, and I'll be talking to you about the different branches of astronomy. Astronomy is a study of space and celestial bodies, like stars, galaxies, planets, and many more. I'm interested in astronomy because I like to learn and talk about everything in space. There are also a variety of branches that you can take in astronomy too. Some of them are exoplanetology, atmospheric science, and planetary formation. So in this speech, I'll be talking to you about the different branches of astronomy, all the latest discoveries, and many more. To begin with, I'll be talking about exoplanetology. This branch is a study of exoplanets, which are planets that orbit around different stars. Some of the latest discoveries I have found are about planet HD 10826b, and this discovery is found on January 28, 2021. Apparently, this planet is more than 1.5 times as big than Earth and is about 210 light years away. This planet also orbits a star that is similar to our Sun and is more than 1,005 degrees Fahrenheit. This discovery is found by astrophysicist Tansy Dylan and his international team. I also got all this information from exoplanets.nasa.gov. Another recent discovery that I found are about these hot worlds orbiting around TOI 451, which is a younger version of our Sun. Apparently, according to exoplanets.nasa.gov, quote, Other observations show that TOI 451 likely has two distant stellar companions circling each other far beyond the planets." Unquote. Elizabeth Newton, who is an astronomist and assistant professor of physics, said that these hot worlds are apparently 110 years old and are about 400 light years away. This discovery was found by a group of astronomers on February 12, 2021. I also found all this information from exoplanets.nasa.gov. Overall, there are many different types of things that you can learn about in astronomy, in exoplanetology, and it is a great field. It's a great branch of astronomy. Next, I'll be talking about atmospheric science. According to nasa.gov, atmospheric science is, quote, the study of the physics and chemistry of clouds, gases, and aerosols, unquote. Atmospheric scientists can study the atmosphere of Earth or the atmosphere of other planets and moons in our solar system. These scientists can also work in weather stations, laboratories, and offices, and they can also work in computer analysis and modeling. One recent discovery that I found is about water vapor coming out from the planet of Mars. According to phys.org, there's some valleys and river channels that might have once had liquid water flowing through on the surface of Mars. After researching this planet, scientists have come to the conclusion that water has existed on Mars. According to phys.org, it's most likely true that the water that used to flow there might be locked in minerals in Mars's crust, or turns into oxygen or hydrogen, but apparently some of that water is emanating from Mars. This discovery is found by two scientists at Bryn Open University and was shared to the public on February 10th, 2021. In summary, there are a variety of things that you can learn about in atmospheric science, and it is an amazing branch of astronomy. Finally, I'll be talking about planetary formation. According to AlmaObservatory.org, planetary formation is about the formation of planets and stars. Based on our current understanding, planets are formed in a new star by condensing in a disk of molecular gas and dust embedded within a larger molecular cloud. Condensation increases until they become giant planets, which are heated, then cleanse their orbits in the disk and possibly bend it. Remaining gas in the disk finally disappears, leaving planets a disk of dust and debris. Unquote. I also got all this information from AlmaObservatory.org. Apparently, there are two important processes in planet formation, the first one being condensation and the second being accretion. Also, we do know that stars take a few million years to form, and that star formation can be born in dusty cradles of gas. Even though we have plenty of information about the formation of planets and stars, the specific way of planet formation remains unknown. In conclusion, there are a variety of things that you can learn about in astronomy, like planets, moons, and comets. Also, there are some branches that you can take in astronomy too. Some of them are atmospheric science, planetary formation, and exoplanetology. Those three branches are great examples of what you can learn in astronomy and how great and interesting the astronomy field is. I hope you enjoyed learning about astronomy and will continue to learn about space. Thank you.
Okay, let's test this microphone. Does it sound better if it is closer to us? That's good. Okay. Sophia, that was so thorough. I would say that you are an expert on the branches of astronomy. I'm very impressed. Thank you for that speech. So next, I am happy to introduce Hardeep. And Hardeep is a 6th grader right here at Sunkist Elementary School, and he is going to talk to us today about anime.
Did you know that the anime Sazae-san has 2,500 episodes and is the longest anime in the world? There are many varieties of anime, just like food, sports, romance, action, comedy, and more. Hi, my name is Hardeep, and I'm a 6th grader at Sunkist Elementary School, and I'll be telling you how great anime is. My recommendation for an anime is AOT, which stands for Attack on Titan. This anime is blowing up everywhere and it is very interesting. It is an action anime and has a bit of comedy. Did you know a lot of people say cartoons instead of anime? Now I'll be talking about the genres and how anime is made. There are many genres in animes, just like romance, food, sports, action, comedy, sad animes, and more. There is something for everyone to enjoy. Because of the diversity numbers of genres, there are millions of people who watch anime almost every day. My recommendation for an anime is Attack on Titan. In my opinion, action anime is the best. It has great fighting scenes and, like any other anime, a great storyline. Anime is made by computer and by hand, which takes a lot of effort. Most animes are based off of mangas, but some are not. Mangas are graphic novels or comics from Japan. It takes roughly 1 month to complete one episode for an anime. People use different softwares to make different animes. Where do you watch anime? You can watch it on Funimation, which is a platform where you can watch almost all the animes, but you have to pay for it. Another one is Crunchyroll, where it is a platform where you can also watch almost all the animes, and it's for free. But there are ads. You can also watch anime on Netflix too, but there aren't that many on there. Other places you can watch anime are Toonami, HiDive, YouTube, and more. HiDive and Toonami are kind of like the same platforms I talked about earlier. In my opinion, Crunchyroll is the best because it has good quality and it's for free. Also Toonami. But if you have money to spend it on Funimation and HiDive. Now I'll be talking about the best animes to ever exist and tell you why anime is so popular. These are the best animes worldwide. Fullmetal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and more. The reason anime is so popular is because there's a wide population of people because of its diverse numbers of genre. The reason it pulls you in to watch more is because it tells stories that will make you laugh, cry, or even inspire you to try new things. Another reason anime is so popular is because of the intros of the songs are so great and catchy. Some openings that are great and catchy are Fire Force, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, and more. Also, some of the outros are catchy too. Did you know around 44 million people in the United States watch anime? I hope you start your journey into watching anime. My recommendation for an anime is Attack on Titan. One more fact about anime is that the first full-length anime was called Astro Boy and made by Osamu Tezuka in 1945. You now know why anime is so interesting and why everyone likes it. Also, thank you for listening to my facts about anime.
Thank you, Hardeep, for sharing all the different aspects about anime. I know it's on quite often at my house as well. So next, I would like to introduce Adelene. We practiced. And she is a 6th grader at Westmont, and she is going to speak with you about women's history. Welcome, Adelene.
Hi, my name is Adelene, and I'm dedicating this speech to women's history because I feel it's important to remember what women did for equal rights and how it changed women's position in society. Various have women had tried to gain equal rights for a long period of time. Despite the fact that it was not easy, all of these women eventually succeeded. In late 1800s, women were not able to vote nor have a voice in who shaped America's laws or ran the government. Women thought this was unfair and thought that they too deserve all the rights and responsibilities of a citizen. But women like Susan B. Anthony, Alice Paul, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Lucy Stone, and Ida B. Wells didn't always agree with another. They each are committed to the enfranchisement of all American women. Ida B. Wells was one of the many women who fought for equal rights. Ida B. Wells was born on July 16, 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi. Ida B. Wells was an African-American journalist and activist. 6 months before Ida was born, her family were enslaved along with the other Confederate states, soon later declared free thanks to the Emancipation Proclamation. Ida B. Wells was a family of 10. Sadly, at just the age of 16, Ida B. Wells' family passed away due to yellow fever outbreak, causing her to lose both parents and one sibling. Though this was hard for Ida B. Wells, along with her other siblings, she managed to get a job as a teacher. From there, she wrote about the issues of race and politics in the South. Several of her stories appeared in black newspapers. She later became an owner of the Memphis Free Speech. However, in May, Ida B. Wells bought a first-class train ticket ride, only to get forced to move to the car for African Americans. Wells was outraged and refused to. She was forced to stop the train, but she did not let that stop her. So she bit the hand of one of the men, thereafter sued the railroad for a $500 settlement in a circuit court case. After everything they've done to Ida B. Wells, she fought through all of it, not letting anyone get in her way. Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony was yet another important woman during the Civil Rights Movement. Susan B. Anthony was born on February 15, 1820 in Adams, Massachusetts. Susan B. Anthony was an activist, author, educator, and abolishment, who was a key figure in women's voting rights movement in the United States. Along with the prohibition of alcohol, Susan B. Anthony campaigned to end slavery. Susan B. Anthony met Katie Stanton in 1851 while attending an anti-slavery conference. Both women were fighting for women's equality. Then formed the New York States Rights Committee they found in 1851. 1851. Anthony worked tirelessly to bring speeches around the world to persuade people to support a woman's right to vote, but no one heard her voice. So in 1872, she voted illegally in the presidential election. She was arrested for the crime and fined $100, which she never paid. Susan B. Anthony never gave up on her fight, then met President Theodore Roosevelt in Washington, D.C., who had agreed to give women the right to vote, but sadly, it would only be 14 years after her death. And Susan B. Anthony died on March 13, 1906, and quoted, "To think I've had more than 60 years of hard struggle, and to die without it seems so cruel." Susan B. Anthony will always be remembered for her brave actions of her fighting for equal rights. By Susan B. Anthony, Katie Stanton, Ida B. Wells, and many more incredible women, people like me, and many others will now be able to share our peace of mind and vote for anyone in the Constitution to say or believe whatever we'd like. Thank you for listening.
Adelene, thank you so much for that inspiring speech, and perhaps in the future we will be learning about the amazing Adelene, another amazing woman. So thank you very much. Why don't we give all of our scholars a round of applause for their speeches today. I am so inspired by all of you. I would really like to thank the families who came today, the teachers and administrators, everyone who supported this project. And it takes a lot of courage to come up on stage and speak in front of an audience, and live streaming nonetheless, so I'm very proud of all of these scholars. We will be here tomorrow at 1:30 again here at Sunkist Elementary School. So I hope you join us again, and we will have 4 more scholars speaking tomorrow. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.